Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Meet the Brooks.
Meet the Brooks.
My name is Michael Jace Brooks. This is Juli Brooks, aka Mrs. Eye Candy. We are back with episode 2 of Power 2 Ghosts.
Right. This side note, I have this scarf on my head because I just got finished watching the Patty versus Gladys versus battle, and I was trying to be in the theme of the Queen. So
What that got to do with anything?
I was going for like a certain thing. I ended up switching shirts, but yeah. So
okay. Now you're tuned in. They say that it's a big rich town. Hey. I just come from the Polish part. This the review. So this episode is called Exceeding Expectations. I think that Courtney Kemp did a great job with this episode. We noticed that Power 2 doesn't really kick off as fast as the first Power.
Right. It's definitely slower with the storyline, but I think it develops the story a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the writing is as good as it was when Power first started, because I think that the last couple of seasons of Power, the writing kind of shifted, and this seems like it's back to that original, good deep thought writing. Yeah.
It definitely feels like Power season 4.
Yeah.
Before Ghost got locked up, and then
Right.
we know what happened. Rest in peace to my homie Ghost. She's good. So this episode starts off. Basically, it starts off. The primary part is that Method Man's character, which I think is a great actor, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Davis McLean. He's a phenomenal actor. Him and his assistant, counterpart, lawyer,
paralegal or something.
Yeah, they meet with Tasha in the jail, and basically they're trying to figure out why they're trying to hit her with the Queen Pin stasher. Right, because he knows it has to be some type of motive behind it. It has to be a why, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to Tariq being in college. The college is called Stansfield. He meets up with Ezekiel. Gives Ezekiel a paper, tells him to read it over because they are going to question him on it. Because we know Zeke ain't doing nothing. Alright, so before I was rudely interrupted.
Battery ran out.
Yeah, I'm an undercover liar. I lie under the cover. Alright, so let's get back to it. So we know Zeke ain't going to do any type of work. All he going to do is play ball and act a fool in college and just live the life of a future NBA star, future sports star, right? So Tariq ends up going to class. He had another book to read. He didn't read the book, y'all. Tariq's a busy dude, though, and the teacher, he's been getting on his behind about it.
It was the black guy. It was, I don't know his name, but it wasn't like the white teacher.
Yeah, his name is Jabari something.
Yeah, so it was that teacher. It seems like he got a hard up for Tariq for whatever reason. But the thing I was telling you when we was watching it was, I think their expectations of a college student is rather high. I guess prestigious schools are like this, but he has other classes. He has to tutor someone in every class.
Right.
And y'all read a book in a day. Like the it's a lot.
Yeah. And he's dealing with family drama.
Right. And they know that his mom has court and his dad is dead and come on, man, that's a lot. But just if he didn't have that, if he was just a regular student that came in and he had a regular college workload, plus he had to tutor a star athlete in every subject. Yeah. I'm supposed to read a book a day on top of that stuff. That's a lot. That's just crazy.
I mean, when I was in class, it was just a lot just dealing with work alone. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think about being a college student, being a freshman.
Right. And I think that's
a lot.
And I think that's where part of the title "Exceeding Expectations" come from. It's a few things that you notice, like, oh, okay. So Jabari, the black male professor, didn't like the fact that Tariq didn't read the book again. However, Tariq does get a text from Davis McLean, Method Man's character. They basically want Tariq to deliver the eulogy, but they want him to trash Ghost's name.
To help Tasha's case.
That's the reason why, though, right? And so Tariq, is kind of torn about that. He's just trying to figure out, why should I have to do this?
Right.
So Tariq ends up meeting with his friend Weston. His last name is Weston, and they were selling drugs back at the high school or boarding school, wherever they were at before. And so he's like, yo, Tariq, put me back in the game, man. Put me back in the game, you know? And Tariq like, man, leave me alone.
Didn't something happen last time in Power that somebody messed it up for him? Was it his friend? Was it him or was it somebody else?
I thought it was the girl who...
The girl did it, but was he the one to throw with the girl?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I was just trying to figure out, like, this might not be a good idea, but okay.
Right.
To get this
so then they go to Mary's character, Mary J. Blige's character. Her name is Monet. She's laid up with her Latino male because that's what she likes in this show, right? Because her husband is Latino who's locked up for life, right? Come to find out that the Latino she's laid up with is a cop. And I'm pretty sure that that's going to play a good role and a good part in that storyline too. So we go back to Zeke, the ball player. He is flirting with the teacher, flirting with the lady teacher. She, beautiful lady, by the way. But she ain't on him. She ain't pressed on him at all. She's more worried about Tariq than anything else. And I think she's still stuck on her ex, which is the male black teacher,
the
Jabari.
Yeah.
Yep. So she's still stuck on him. Let's see. So Tariq ends up meeting with Simon. We know who Simon is. He's a big guy. So Simon wants Tariq to big up Ghost's name.
He wants to do the eulogy, but he wants him to do the opposite of what Method Man's character wants him to do. He wants him to actually speak highly of Ghost versus trash him.
Right.
Yeah.
And one thing I like about Power are the few quotes that they put out there because it makes you think. So Simon said, the first thing that you ask in business is, how does this benefit me? It's pretty deep, right? Because, I mean, as a businesswoman, right, you do things that is going to not only benefit others, but at the end of the day, it's going to benefit you too.
Right.
Right.
I think that's the difference between, like, I'm not going to say, because there's always an exception to the rule. There are some people that do for others and they can still be successful, but some of the most successful people are a little more selfish. And I think that my growing of my business process might have been delayed and stopped in certain aspects because I wasn't on self. I was always trying to bring everybody with me, and I was always trying to think about everybody else versus what's best for me. Right. How it's going to affect me, and how, you know what I mean? Like, and I didn't think like that. I think I'm starting to have that little more ruthless in me. But it made sense though, because it looked like, and I was telling you this when I was watching it, like that actually makes sense because he's over here like, I gotta get my mom when I get my mom out, right? But what Simon is saying is, if you trash a Ghost's name, the stuff that he left over, it'll affect that business. It'll affect Truth and all these organizations that Ghost, has popping. Right. And then you get your mom out of jail, but the money's gone because you done messed up the business aspect of it. So how does that, I was like, that actually is smart. And it's good that he's making Tariq think that, because Method's job is to get Tasha out. Yeah. It ain't to keep your businesses thriving. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Method's job is to get Tasha out. Period. But y'all trying to live off of this money goes left.
Yeah, so everyone is basically doing what they're supposed to do as far as a job. So Simon's job, he is a business mogul, right. So he's gonna think business first.
And like Simon said, if it do bad, I'ma still be okay.
Right.
You might not.
Right. Right, which was deep.
Yeah.
Another good quote that they had in the show was when Professor Jabari said that Tariq is a black man in America. He does not have time to process his feelings.
Right. And see, that was the thing, because when Tariq met with the professor lady, she was really focused on, how are you feeling? Because when Zeke met with her, she was worried about Tariq. Oh, well, how does Tariq feel? What's going on with Tariq? What did Tariq say? Like, and he's all like trying to mac, and she like, listen, little boy, how's Tariq? She's it seems like she started getting an obsession with Tariq. She might be one of those fixers. She might be like Jada and get into an entanglement later. I'm not sure. But she wants Tariq to process what he's going through. Like, Ghost's funeral was the next day, and he's like, I don't want to think about that.
And just based off those two characters, because they did get intimate after that, I think that she's addicted to love.
It said something about love and sex. Like she's addicted to love and sex. So she's probably a sex addict and addicted to love as well. So yeah.
And there's people
and
out there.
There's something about that story going to develop a little bit more because it was a little cloudy. Like he supposedly wrote something, possibly a book or an article or something that exposed her or that exposed their relationship, or something like that.
Yeah, I want to see a little bit further about what that is because it's kind of sound like The Best Man for real.
Yeah,
like
but they
a character loosely based on somebody's real life.
Okay, this doesn't have as hardcore sex scenes as Power does, or it's not having as graphic shootout killing scenes either. It might change later, but just on the second episode, it's not as bad.
Right.
So we might not have to see Marys with JJ.
No, we're definitely not going to see Marys with JJ.
Okay, I don't want to.
No, we're not. She's a queen. Absolutely not.
Okay.
So Tariq ends up having dinner with Ezekiel's family. You know, that includes Monet, which is Mary's character. Woody McClain's character, Kane, he played Bobby Brown. And, you know, the other members of the family. So here comes Uncle Frank. Uncle Frank all of a sudden is out of jail. They don't know why. So they get into a little tiff and they end up leaving the house. But Tariq and Kane left the house. Kane, of course, is the goon in the family. He's the one who handles all the dirty work. So he had a talk with Tariq, was just telling Tariq, you know, what happens in this house stays in this house, and you know,
basically keep your mouth closed.
Yeah, keep your mouth closed because he didn't know what was going to happen.
What happened was Uncle Frank said something. He slipped and he said something, and it was weird the way he came in, and he like, I got out for good behavior or whatever, and he was like, listen, I know you running it now that your husband in jail, and he said that out loud, and it was like really weird. Like, why would you say that? Probably got a wire. You know, like that's very weird. You just out of jail all of a sudden, and you come to this house and you say, "Hey, I know you running the business now." Like what? In front of the kids. Like what? So yeah.
But Tariq kind of shows his street smarts. He is a little street smart. Yeah. So, you know, he told Kane that Uncle Frank is a snitch. Yeah. He told him why. He broke it down, which all makes sense, right? So you know, they're cool for the time being. They have a vigil for Ghost at the school. Tariq doesn't want to be a part of it. Him and his friend leave. They go to a party. The main kids there are Trace and Braden Weston. And their dad or their parents had the name of the auditorium and swimming pool is named after them. So
they paid to get them built. You know how rich people do that? They pay for a library. Yeah. And then they get like...
Yeah, they call shots.
Yeah.
Definitely. But you kind of see a little bit of white privilege too, because Trace ends up punching, I guess, a security guard.
Yeah, you know, like the university police officers, like Ray Tennessee. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. All right. So we kind of go back to the funeral now. Tasha comes. They escort her. You know, she got on her wig.
First, Method was saying Tariq doesn't have to speak now. Tasha's going to do it. Right. That's key. And then when Tasha gets there, they put her in shackles. Right. Kind of silencing her. Right. They kind of figured like, oh, you was trying to try to get up there and say something. Yeah, we stopping that. So then my friend comes out of nowhere.
Councilman Tate.
Yes.
Councilman Tate with his little Tate badge on.
He had on his campaign badge. I was like, really, dude? You come to the funeral with your campaign badge.
Hey, you know what? He got to get his votes. It's 2020, so you got to get your votes now. So Tariq ends up doing it.
Well, Tate volunteers to speak, and Tariq says, no, I'm going to do it. Right. So then Tariq gets up there, and he speaks.
And he does a great job.
Yeah. He does middle. He doesn't speak bad. He doesn't speak good. You know, and it's just what he says is really more about him. And it was good. It was a good little speech.
So again, going back to the title of Exceeding Expectations, what Tariq said and how he held it down, it kind of shocked a lot of people because they didn't think that he had that part in him. Yeah. Again, going back to...
Watching this proved that Tariq is Ghost's son, regardless of what he thinks. Like, I'm not my father. Yeah, you are. You started to look like him. A lot.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
One thing that you didn't discuss was in jail, Tasha was like, in jail when she noticed something, one lady was trying to get some after morning after pill.
Like a Plan B,
yeah, and I think Tasha told Tariq at the hospital that she needed that. If you can't get it to her, I don't know why. Maybe she's trying to find an ally in jail, whatever. And Tariq talks to Mary's character, the daughter, the niece.
Yes, Diana.
And tells her like, hey, if there's a way you can make that happen, get that for my mom or something. And then she talks to Mary, who's concerned about Tariq. Like, who the hell is this Tariq? Somebody find out who he is.
Right.
So Mary does that, and Tasha gets this Plan B pill and a cell phone.
Yes.
In there. And that's gonna probably play out later, so that's interesting. They might go old Mary or something like that. Mary is like, y'all give me some information on Tariq, and then they get old boy. Kane gets Frank.
Yes.
Gets the rat.
Knock him out.
Chop him up.
Shoot him in the head.
And chop him
up.
And put him in containers, which was that was a little graphic.
Beer kegs.
Yeah. So anything else?
Yeah. So when Sachs and McClane were doing the pre-trial, Sachs ends up being a dirty little snake and brings out Rodriguez as a rebuttal witness.
Yeah, Blanca.
And she did not want to do it. She is against Sachs. Sachs is a piece of crap, and she lets it be known to McClane, take him down because he is a piece of crap. Yeah, she said, when you go to trial, bring me on. Let me actually talk because I got something to say. Right.
Tasha is not no queen pen, and he full of crap. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so last but not least, you already mentioned that Tasha gets the cell phone and talks to Tariq. Kane sees Monet's cop friend and pulls off. So he is going in there. He's giving Monet the snitch papers.
Yeah, and it's too late now. He done already came to the house and said the shit. You late, like if you really
late.
So she telling, because he's trying to say that he's more valuable to her than her husband, who's in jail. Like and he's not. Like because this dude done already came, and you came after the fact. Like you know what I'm saying. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna give you one more chance to prove yourself. Give me some information on Tariq. But she wants to know who Tariq is, which is like. I get it. What do you think about this episode?
I think it's a good episode. I think it's a great second episode.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's developing the characters. We're getting new characters and we're getting to know these new people. Like you still see we don't know their names like that, like some of them, but we're getting to know them. Husband took notes this time, which is why he ran this one. I didn't take no notes. I'm not a note girl. I'm gonna get better. But yeah, I liked it. Like I said, I'm starting to separate this Ghost from Power, and Tariq is the new Ghost. He's developing to be Ghost. You know, I see it, and it's good. It's good. Hopefully, you know, it stays like that. It stays on to the past, and it stays interesting. But I like the writing. I think it's dope.
Yeah. Shout out to Courtney Kemp again. And shout out to her writers. Shout out to 50.
I hope we don't get no 50 Cent.
He did.
But he gonna probably come as flashbacks. He gonna probably come into Tariq's head like, yo, y'all don't get this, you know what I'm saying? And okay, before we go, I think Kane is Kanan's son. Watch. I think he connected to Kanan. He ruthless like Kanan. I mean, his name is Kane.
He definitely ain't Latino, so.
Right. So, the girl ain't him.
No.
So that's interesting. But okay, guys.
Maybe he stepdaddy of the year.
Yeah, maybe so. But there you go. Meet the Brooks' review on episode 2 of Power Book 2 Ghost. Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, talk to us, tell us what you guys think about the episode. Did you like it? Did you hate it? You know, what are you expecting for this season of Power Book 2? And we out. Deuces.
I'm an undercover liar. I lie under the cover.
Okay.
What? I'm about to start. Yo, what's still going on, everybody?
He's new to this.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Mrs. Zach Candy.
Oh yeah. Okay, do it again. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just let you do it. Go.
Okay.